So I think there's a lot of rebuilding we have to do, and I think we have to do it smartly. And it's really about quality of life for people, well, for Americans, really. I mean, how do we live the kinds of lives that, make us happy, make us complete? So to me, that's what smart growth is.
That when you're trying to rebuild then from nothing, from ground zero, what are the things that make sense when you come back and you rebuild? Access to public transportation and economic corridors really was part of that success. If you had access to grocery stores and you had a walkable community and you could get to the resources that you needed, those were the communities that rebuilt faster and better.
These economic times require you to invest in the things that you know are going to grow your future, that you know are going to grow your economy or bring jobs or bring a more livable city to your citizens. And I would advise elected officials who are out there who are trying to figure out how to get things done to call others who've done those things.
Growth and change, always difficult. If it happens in a chaotic, unpredictable environment, nobody wins.
We're not going to be the victim to it anymore. We are going to be proactive and strategize what our future is and dictate it for ourselves, which I think in Teton Valley, the attitude had similarly been, well, let's just hope for the best. And when the best comes, we all take advantage of it. And when the boom comes, or the bust comes, we all suffer together. And I think what we've seen now is like we can't control our future. If we strategize and we plan for it, we can do that.
When we talk about smart growth, transportation, affordable housing, economic development, those things are all connected. And so in many ways, you can't talk about one with the other.
And I think for Knoxville to be great, we have to look at those opportunities within the core of the city to reinvest, and we have to make sure that we're preserving the beauty of East Tennessee. We sell ourselves on being a beautiful place to live, with the rivers, with the mountains, with the ridge, with the ridge tops and that we have, beautiful vistas throughout Knoxville and the region. But if we grow in a way that we put development on all the ridge tops and we continue to sprawl out into the the mountains and such, then we're going to destroy that which is our greatest asset.
All this smart growth stuff is about choices. It's no more complicated than that. And for people to be able to age and stay in their neighborhood so they can have that same social dynamic, that's great for their health outcomes. It's great for avoiding issues like Alzheimer's and those kind of things. Having that familiarity around them is going to be important. So how do you solve that?
We had to somehow put an infusion of capital into the inner city. So somehow, from a market standpoint, the inner city can compete with suburbs. And so people who have a choice of where to live would have an equal chance of choosing to live closer to the city center than on the edges of the city center.
Creating this downtown has given us the ability to do that. And so what we find now is that by creating this sense of community, folks are more likely to come downtown and eat supper, to come downtown to shop, than they are to go to another community. And I think that's been a real important driver for us on an economic standpoint.
Because I think what smart planning isn't is overregulation, expensive mandates coming down from on top. I believe smart planning is locally driven, citizen participation that determines the future of their community.
Great neighborhoods we're finding are not necessarily what we thought they were. We used to think that we divide ourselves up into sections, like you put schools over here, housing over here, stores over here. And what we found is that to be able to get anywhere and do anything, that you had to get in your car to get there. And the more that we lived in our cars and the more that we lived in kind of a sectional stovepiped communities, we didn't see each other, we weren't diverse, we arranged ourselves according to our functions. And what we see in livable neighborhoods and with 5-minute living, we see that we can create neighborhoods that are diverse.
Smart growth should be something that's not a frustration to people. It's that people aren't driving down the street and thinking, what were they thinking? Or this traffic is terrible. It needs to be livable. It needs to have a sense of place, but be livable, make economic sense.
So all my time in Brooklyn has been, how do we bring people together in our neighborhood to preserve what we love about it and to change the things we want to work on.
When we come together, it's not Republicans, Democrats, Tea Partiers, or whatever. It's a group of community leaders that have issues that we need to talk about.
And we need to start thinking about what we need to do to be all the winners, instead of I get mine and you don't get yours.
When you start looking at how you can use development to your best advantage without forgetting your past, you find out that your best days are still ahead.
I like to point out that the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.